Welcome to the Ref Show. All very relaxed this week, but that doesn't mean to say that we haven't got a very lively show for you. A Ref Show with a difference. To say that our special guest in the studio here was an old-fashioned centre forward would be to underplay him. Iain Dowie, a very warm welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
And to say that grappling is an old chestnut really would be to seriously underplay what is a major issue in football. Welcome back, Keith Hackett. Now you two are going to get to grips on grappling because I think it's fair to say you're on opposite sides of the fence on this, but you do, both of you, have the game of football at heart. First of all, the big build-up, because Iain, you've been buffeting around football for a long, long time now, since 1983. You came up from the non-league game. You then played for West Ham, Southampton, Crystal Palace and QPR, among others. 59 caps for Northern Ireland, and if I'm correct, 12 goals.
That's correct.
And currently Sky pundit. So you do have a little bit of stature, and a former manager as well. Oldham, Crystal Palace, Charlton, Coventry and QPR.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've done a bit of both. I've obviously been a robust centre forward, I think was the word, or use old-fashioned, or whatever the same is as it was in them days. And I've been on the management side and looked at, obviously, in micro detail every decision that goes on. But and in my experience, the vast majority of what the referees do is right. I mean, my view is, I think we had the discussion at the when we were just before the Forest game. I think it was Shawcross on the penalty. So, I mean, my view is these are very serious tools when you're a defender. Yeah. And if you take them away, we see what we see now, which is bang average defending. Yeah. So, I mean, people may not love the game, but I like to use these if I'm a defender, and I coached these tools to be a good defender.
Okay, let's just go back to that. We were at the City Ground watching that Stoke-Manchester City game, and Mike Dean gave a penalty for grappling. This was the first of the two. The second one probably wasn't. It was very dubious. The first one, there was holding. And I was ecstatic because this is what Keith has been advocating for a long time, the whole website, youaretheref.com. You were saying, well, it's soft, don't give a penalty for that. So straight away, you two are in disagreement on that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't back down from saying I think that's a very, very soft penalty. Now, I fully understand if the player is not looking at the ball when he grabs him. But, you know, my view, I mean, I was talking to Keith before. His big fault was probably had him a little bit higher up. If he grabs lower down, it's difficult to see. Now, all right, they're dark arts, but these are very important tools. I call it block and disturb. And you've got to use your hands. I think I've seen Conte's Italian side against Sweden in the Euros. Masters of the dark arts. That's wrong. Defensive arts. I'm not going to use dark arts. Defensive arts. They block and disturb. So as you make a move, bump, I bump you. Or I do. Is me bumping you any different than me pulling your shirt? Not really.
So you would actually coach this as a manager?
I did coach it.
Now, there's got to be a change now, because no manager or coach could dare coach that now, could they?
Yeah.
Could they, Keith? Hey?
Well, I think they are.
Still?
I think, absolutely. And I clearly understand where Ian's coming from. I mean, the point that he has demonstrated using arms is contrary to law. I mean, without getting into detail and being like, this is the law, and all those words, the reality is you can't use your hands in those situations because it's a game of football. It's called football. And therefore, I understand how it's developed and why the hands and arms come into play. Because in the 70s, 80s, when I refereed, Iain played, there were some challenges that were meaty, that were game-changing in terms of that player's career. Let's make no mistake, the tattle from behind was more than a tattle. It had, if you like, a tinge of injury on the opponent and a bit of venom in it. With the law changes that have come over the years, we see now a softer game. It's less harsh, but I still contend that if clubs had centre forwards like Iain, then the game would be much better off at this level. There is, if you like, a dearth of talent in terms of that position.
Well, that type of striker of Ian's age have gone out of the game, particularly at the top level, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, Costa would be the one who springs to mind. But I mean, let me first and foremost say the tackle from behind, and they absolutely made the game better. Now, what I'm saying is, where I'm coming from, I mean, I agree with Keith. I mean, you can't grab him. But I'm saying if I put flat palmer hands on and I'm disturbing your run, these are great tools to have in every way. Because if I play, for example, if I'm a centre half and I'm 6'3" and I'm playing against Sergio Aguero, and there's a ball going to be knocked over the top, I'm not going to win that race. As the ball's played, if I give him a nudge, I've now got a 5-yard gap. I'll get that ball. Now you don't see that, but that's good defending because he's taking his space. Yeah. So they're the sort of things I'm talking about. I'm certainly not advocating, and I can't stand defenders, although the Italians did it at times, looking the other way and just grappling people. That is a penalty. But I'm not sure a slight tug of your shirt, disturbing your run, being close contact, physically disturbing the player's movement is a penalty all the time, although it seems to be now. So I understand that.
I mean, Neil Warnock wrote a column for us recently, and he said, look, in my day playing, there was none of this, holding and pulling. But I think you disagree.
I do disagree.
You say it's always gone on.
Always gone on. I mean, I can't believe you say there was no holding and pulling.
Very little. He said there might be a bit of blocking, somebody trying to block you out. He said, but there wasn't the actual arm-to-arm combat.
Well, I mean, in the game I played, if someone's marking you...
Imagine he's older than you.
Yeah, he is, physically. I mean, it may have developed. I mean, Neil had played, he's a little bit older than me, but nonetheless, I still think, I certainly managed against Neil's teams and played against Neil's teams, physical teams. Let me tell you, there was some grappling going on in his teams, for sure.
Yeah. Don't surprise me.
The skill set here is the referee. When you're coaching the referee to these sort of things, Iain's raised a valuable point in the education of referees, which is what we try to do. And that is, the referees are often looking at the ball and not looking at the players. The ball never commits an offence. And those nudges, as he says, were a regular occurrence that often we as referees would miss. It's a little bit like hands on shoulders is very easy to see, but the arm across the shoulder bounced down as though you're jumping up and bouncing and hitting stops the forward or the defender jumping up for the ball. Yeah. So those, and Dalglish, Kenny Dalglish was a magician, a great player, but he would, as the ball's coming, he would grab the shirt of the defender and then spin off him, pulling the shirt towards him. Yeah. So I do think holding was going on because I was penalising it. But I think that the subject that we're probably focusing on is balls into the penalty area where we've seen defenders not nudging, but wrapping their arms round, really grabbing and holding.
So you agree on that, Iain?
But what I'm saying, you see, what Keith's made a point there, and that's why Kenny Dalglish is a very clever footballer, because as Keith's looking at him, he's got his shirt here, okay? Yeah. He's got the defender's shirt here, and he rolls the ball that way, and he keeps his arm tight to his side and really pulls the defender behind him. Now, the defender, that's really, because you can't, it's never like that. He's not pulled him this way. Keith can't see it.
I can't see it.
No one can see it. No. See, what I'm saying, that is clever play. Yeah. Now, I'm not sure that, well, it wouldn't be a penalty now because you wouldn't see it. When that shirt gets pulled away from the body, that's the easy one. When it's tight by your side, I think, and the Italians are masters at it, they do that. They hold you low down. They don't get separated from you.
And often but we've seen, Alan, the point of the debate centres not on the players, because they can do what they like to some degree. It's the referee seeing it, and they were seeing it, and not penalising it. Because we have this nonsense, don't we? Yeah. We have this nonsense of the referee seeing the holding taking place, or the blocking, blowing his whistle, stopping any corner kick or free kick being taken, going in, having words, coming back, and then seeing it take place and doing nothing about it.
And even more than that, didn't we see recently where he goes over, books someone, but didn't give a penalty because it wasn't in play?
But it actually was.
And it was.
Was in play? Yeah, it was in play, yeah.
Absolutely.
Look, this has got a lot more legs left, you know. Even Iain Dowie's got more legs left on that. Even Keith Hackett's got more legs left for the second part of the ref show on this. Is it a more entertaining spectacle without grappling? Are we going to get more goals from corners? Plus, what's acceptable banter between referees and players? That's come into the spotlight with a particular complaint over the weekend from Darren Ferguson over a particular referee who you all have heard of. Rejoin us for Ref Show Part 2. The away side has been blatantly time wasting to hold on to a 0-0 draw, so you signal 6 extra minutes. The home side score, they demand you blow the final whistle immediately. They say playing the full 6 minutes would now unfairly reward the away side by giving them a chance to equalise. What now?